Have you ever felt like no matter what you do, there's always someone questioning you, challenging you, making you feel like you have to defend your worth? Maybe it's relationships, maybe it's at work, maybe this is happening in your own mind. I understand how exhausting it can be to feel like you're fighting for something that you shouldn't even need to fight for, to be the one that's always reaching out in the relationship, or to be the one showing up at work and no matter how hard you work, it's overlooked. Or maybe in that friendship where you are constantly giving and giving and it's never reciprocated. The reason you feel so drained isn't because you're losing, it's because you are fighting a battle that was never yours to win. This video, it's not about giving up. It's about recognizing where your energy is going and learning how to call it back. It's about stepping out of fight and into flow. We will talk about the unseen wars we fight every day, how they trap us in cycles of exhaustion, and how to shift our energy so we can start attracting what we deserve instead of battling for it. So what if I told you that some of the biggest battles you fight every day aren't even yours to fight? You've been swinging, defending, proving. What if knowing when to put down the gloves and pick up your crown is the real power? No matter how kind of a heart you have, we all wear gloves. Those gloves can look like defensiveness, proving ourselves, seeking validation, and arguing to be heard. And make no mistake about it, there is a cost to constantly fighting. Exhaustion, resentment, loss of self, living in reaction mode instead of response mode. I can personally speak to multiple times when I've been in relationships or in a situation where I just kept fighting for something, whether it was love, respect, or recognition, only to feel empty at the end of the day. Why do we stay in these cycles? The truth is, most of us don't even realize we've been programmed to fight these battles. And it's not just a habit, it's a survival response. Childhood, past wounds, and societal conditioning all program us to believe in what I like to call unseen traps. These traps say, if I fight hard enough, I will be loved. If I could just prove myself, then I'll be respected. Or if I don't react right now, then they are going to walk all over me. Here's the thing. What we need to remember is that energy plays a huge role in attraction and resistance. What we chase runs. What we resist persists. And what we detach from reveals its truth. It's kind of like spending all this time interested in a person that wouldn't give you the time of day. And the minute you move on to someone else and you're happy, what happens? They come around. They suddenly want you. You stopped paying attention to them, and now they want you. And why is this? It's because you chose a new path. You chose to put back on your crown. That meant you shifted from reaction to responding. You decided to know your worth without the external validation. Most importantly, you decided to master your energy instead of trying to control someone else. There are some very easy steps to remember when it comes to taking the initiative to reclaim your power. You want to be able to pause before reacting. You want to ask yourself, is this battle worth my energy? You want to detach and observe. Ask yourself, what is really at play here? And then you want to choose your battles wisely. Ask yourself, is this about me or is it about them? And finally, you want to reaffirm your worth without needing to prove it. You are more than the battles you fight. Your worth isn't in how hard you defend yourself. It's in how deeply you honor yourself. Some people will never understand the shift you make, but the right people, the ones that are meant for you, they will recognize the power in your presence, not in your reaction. We often associate power with dominance, control, or being right. But real power, true sovereignty, comes from the ability to hold and direct your own energy without being swayed by external forces. You were never meant to fight as hard as you do. You were meant to attract, to flow, to radiate so strongly that what's meant for you has no choice but to recognize your light. We need to understand the role that energy plays in our life. Everything in life is energy. The way you show up, the way people respond to you, the way opportunities flow or don't flow into your life, it's all energy. Most of us don't realize that energy, the unseen force between people, controls everything. And that's why some people naturally pull you in and others push you into defense mode without even saying a word. Feminine energy, which is within all of us, is meant to flow, attract, magnetize. It doesn't chase, it calls in. And masculine energy, also within all of us, is meant to protect, build, structure. It creates boundaries, action, direction. But what happens when they clash? The wounded masculine fights for dominance, believing that power is all about control. He battles the world, others, and even himself. His energy is constantly projected outward, seeking validation through achievement or authority. The wounded feminine fights for validation, believing love must be earned. She battles self-doubt, over-explains, and over-gives, believing her worth depends on external approval. Both are stuck in survival mode, constantly reacting to life instead of creating from a place of inner strength. When the masculine reclaims his energy, he stops seeking control and instead stands in presence, clarity, and direction, becoming the rock, not the storm. When the feminine reclaims her energy, she stops seeking external validation and instead radiates magnetism, self-assurance, and grace. Together, they create something deeper than any surface-level attraction or transactional relationship. They become two whole beings, drawing together in alignment, not through need, but through resonance. The shift from external battles becomes internal mastery. Instead of fighting, we see observation. Instead of proving, we see embodying. And instead of forcing, we just allow. This shift isn't about becoming passive. It's about mastering energetic sovereignty, so that you attract what's meant for you rather than exhausting yourself in pursuit of things that don't align with your higher self. Think about someone who is constantly overgiving in the relationship. They're always the first to text, always adjusting their needs for the other person, always proving their worth. They believe that if they just love hard enough, they'll finally be chosen. In this wounded feminine state, they are desperate to be validated, afraid of being abandoned. But the more they chase, the more the other person pulls away. And why? Because chasing is a repelling energy. It says, I need you to complete me, which is a magnet for rejection, not connection. Now let's think about someone who never lets anyone in. They micromanage, they dominate conversations. They have to win every argument. They don't show vulnerability because they think it makes them weak. This is a wounded masculine energy. This is where control replaces connection, where logic overtakes intuition, where force replaces flow. They are fighting battles where there's nothing to win, pushing people away, exhausting themselves in the process. When the feminine forgets its power, it starts chasing. When the masculine forgets its power, it starts controlling. And neither one leads to peace. We're taught to fight for everything: love, success, validation. But the moment you're fighting for something, you've already lost your power. You don't need to fight for love. You don't need to fight for respect. You need to realign your energy so things come to you naturally. I want you to hear me when I say this. You don't have to fight for what's meant for you. You don't have to force love, respect, recognition. The moment you put down the gloves, something beautiful happens. You start attracting the life, the love, the peace that's been waiting for you all along. So tell me, what's one battle you're ready to walk away from? I'm Felicia. Thanks for watching. See you next time, guys.